Ranch hands, take your hat off now, son. Jim Bounds, the Co-op Motor Works and Motorhome Rehab Ranch on Patreon, and had a question. How do I change the turn signal switch? Good one. You say it's way, here's the steering column. It's way up in here. Maybe it goes one way, but it won't click the other, kind of like this one. We'll show you how to do this. First thing you've got to do is you've got to have this tool. My question is, what's the half-life of plastic? I'll tell you how long I've had this tool. Right? This tool pulls off this part that's called the star ring. This goes on here. This goes on here. Nut goes on here. And then you tighten this thing up, and what it does as you tighten this up, it pushes this star ring. Let me put it back down where, as I took it apart, you know, I'm really good with getting myself into something, didn't do it before, so I pulled this apart before. So when you come into your steering column, you're going to have this pressed down in here. This is the star ring. When you put the key, when you flip the key, this little pin, this one has a broken rack. So if you wonder what's going on, that little pin there is supposed to go in this slot. And that's what keeps the steering wheel from moving. When you turn the key on, it moves. This steering column has a problem in there because the pin's not moving. Let's see if I can make it move. No, it's broke. So anyway, to get into here, this ring, this star ring, has to come off. That's what this tool does. And this little clip here, I'll pull it out in a second. It's called a Jesus clip. You know what a Jesus clip is? You're fiddling with it, trying to get out, and it comes out and it goes bing, and it goes away. You go, Jesus! That's a Jesus clip. So you pop this down, you get some tools, you pop that Jesus clip out of the little slot it's in. That's what's holding that ring in. Now you take it off. Take off your bracket. And as you take that nut out, it releases the tension. There's a spring in there. It releases that tension. This is the bracket. Put it back in here so you don't lose it. Now, this ring comes off, and there's the Jesus clip. Jesus! Don't lose the Jesus clip. This is the bracket. Now, this bracket, you see, this gray thing right here, this is the adjustment, the last 2% adjustment on your steering wheel. This is the horn button. It's where the wire goes in. And this one is broken. You can see here, it's cracked off right there. So what you would do if you have this situation, get a Dremel and cut a slot over a little further so when the pin goes in and turns, it'll go into a little slot right there. Or you can buy a new one. These are available at any auto parts store. Every GM steering column in the 70s used this. You can see how the contact went around as you turn the thing. This is what made the horn fire. You get that out of the way. Here's the spring that was in there. And this white thing right here, this is the turn signal. Now watch. We're gonna turn left. Left. Right. It won't go. Well, why is that? It won't go any further. Look. It's hitting. Well, why is that? Okay, it's got this one screw that holds it. Let's take it out and look. See, it holds the turn signal lever. Now, also in the turn signal lever is your cruise control button. You can see a little wire here. Right there. See, there's the cruise control wire. See, it comes out over here. Look, Where this thing was connected is broken. See, it's cracked right there. Okay? That's why when you turned right, it wouldn't turn it. It wouldn't go like that. Does that make sense? Okay? So, this is what we're going to have to change. All right? This whole component right here. And you've got a Phillips head screw on the pivot right there. And the thing about it, unfortunately, this is plastic. So you got this screw going into plastic. And what happens? It splits the plastic. It's normal. It's common. So you take that one screw out, and then this. Let's get this thing out of the way. This whole mechanism will just come right. Oh, I forgot. Here. Along with that mechanism is your emergency brake. I mean your emergency flasher switch. May you pull that out? Take that out. Now this whole thing it wasn't made to come out. It was made to stay in there. It's just falling apart as we try. Let me try this screw right here. Yeah, that's right. There's 2 more screws. I don't do this every week. One there. One here. There we go. You can see the wire here. This is the connector down at the bottom of the steering column. It plugs into a flat connector. So it's designed, it's got enough slack to go like this, and it's stuck through here. There's your wires right there. You route it through the steering column, through the little slot right there. And here's the unit. And what happened to it, take a look. It's a little easier to see. See that crack right there? See? Broke. What's the half-life of a plastic turn signal switch? About now. Okay, this is available. You can buy these a lot of different places. Applied GMC has them. Possibly Jeff Steeram has them. This is an available part. The big thing is to get in here and to change it. Okay? And you say, God, how do you get that wire through there? Turn over here. You can see right here, this is a plastic sleeve. See it? It comes right out. Pull it out of this plastic sleeve. Kind of wiggle it. You got to hold your mouth just right. You got to get the tilt to go straight. Come on, tilt. There we go. And there's your turn signal switch. Now, when you buy it, this paste may be a little bit different, but it'll come with an adapter that will end up giving you all the connectors and things for the the turn signal piece. Also built into this right here, as you see, is your emergency flasher switch. So that's all one assembly. All right? All right, so to put it back in, you just go the other way. Shove that back up in there. Put all this stuff back in. Put the 3 screws in. And while we've got the steering column out, let me show you something else. Here's the steering column the way it would sit in the coach. The turn signals will be over here. This is your tilt. Here's your shifter and your key. Okay. Had a question recently about this ignition switch. So here it's not working. Well, here's the funny part. In here is just a little rack. You see this rod right here? Watch. See how it moves? This is your actual electrical ignition switch. Not in here. That rod comes down into this switch. Now, if this one guy says it won't turn off, it won't go into park. Like this one goes into park. His won't go into park. So I told him to take these two 5/16 screws out here, pull this off. This rod is stuck into the switch. So if you take the switch off, take it out of the rod, stick a screwdriver in there, you can start the coach. Electrically, this is where the ignition electrical switch assembly is. Okay? Likewise, coming down the steering column, this is on the top of the steering column, here's the dash. This top of the steering column, up underneath, this one right at the bottom, right before it goes into the firewall, into the floorboard, this is what's called the neutral safety switch. Neutral safety switch does three things. There's three circuits. One, when you put it in reverse, it cuts on the reverse light. Two, when you put it in drive, you know how your coach, when you put it in drive, the buzzer comes on, tells you to turn on your, or check your air ride. That's on here. And then three, it's got the neutral safety. In other words, if you're in park, it will allow the starter to start. But if you're not in park, or if you're in drive, it will not allow it to start. Now that switch, this connector going there are two purple wires on a single connector. Okay? If all this is broken, if you go to one of these purple wires and feed it 12 volts, the starter will hit. And if you take this off, you see, pull it up that way, that's how it starts. If you take this off and stick a screwdriver there, and you'll be able to start it. Bypass it if it won't start. My coach right now does not use the neutral safety switch. I made a bypass. Why? Because it's the plumber's pipes, it's the mechanic's motorhome, and I don't care about that. Okay? So this steering column, it's a good steering column, but here's the deal. There's, in the bottom of this thing right here is a bearing. Very hard to get this bearing. Neutral safety switch is a device you need to replace. Ignition switch is a device you need to replace. Why? Because it's 50 years old. Okay? Up in here, there's a key, there's a rack that pushes this rod when you turn this key. It's made out of pot metal. They break. In here, turn signal. Switch wears out. It's normal. It's a normal thing to happen. So you've got a lot of old failure points on a 50-year-old machine. See, this is bad here too. You can actually get a new steering column. One we put in recently is chrome. It's very cool. You can put a new steering column with almost all the features this has for less with the labor and the time involved in changing all these pieces and parts, and it's all brand new. You know, think about that. You have 60 bucks here, you got 40 bucks here, another 40 bucks here, that's $75 there. You know, this is going to be $20 or something like that. And in between all that, you lose the Jesus clip. And then you're really screwed, okay? So what am I saying? Here's how to do it. Here's what you want. This is what you buy. You can put it all in there, and it'll work. Any other problems with the column, you may want to consider getting a new one. Okay. Well, I hope this answers that. We were in the classroom here. I know it wasn't as excited about being out there in the ranch, but this was a good question. Why? Because these parts are breaking. Turn signal. How many times can this thing go left, right before it cracks like that? And every one of them cracks, just like that. Okay. Well, look, thank you for your time. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit subscribe and like. If you're a ranch hand, thank you very much for participating, helping us do this. This year has already started out, and we're starting out great. I'm having a great time, and I hope you are too. All right? All right, well, look, thanks for the question. Keep them coming. See you next time.